Hey everyone, just checking. Can everybody hear and see me okay?
Yep, I can.
Okay, great. All right. Well, we're here to do Vinyasa. Everyone's been before, but I'll just remind everyone kind of the way that it works. We're going to work from simpler, easier variations to harder, more difficult, more complex moves, combining things. So what I want you to do is find something that is slightly challenging for you. Um, you don't want it to be too far out of your range, your comfort zone. You also don't want it to be within your comfort zone. So at the beginning, everything might be comfortable because, again, we're starting easy. But at some point in the class, I'm hoping that you will challenge yourself. You'll find something that you can't do perfectly, that's a little bit difficult, whether it be balance or strength or flexibility. Doesn't really matter. We're just, taking ourselves a little bit outside of that comfort zone. And that's what we call the edge. All right. So I want you all to find that, but practice safely. Stay within the range of what you think is safe for your body. Okay. So if you have injuries, if you have things that you need to manage, be mindful of that. All right, let's get right into it. We'll start, as usual, seated with a little bit of breathing. So we find a seat, sit nice and tall, close our eyes, and begin to trace the breath. And then we'll begin to breathe more deeply using three-part or complete yogic breathing. We inhale, fill the belly first, then the ribs, and then the upper chest lifts, and exhale. Reverse that, everything pulling in towards the spine on the exhalation. Then we will add the ocean sound, ujjayi, to our breathing. So as usual, at the back of the throat, like you're fogging a mirror, you begin creating a sound both on the inhale and the exhale. Let's keep that breath very even, the inhales and the exhales, rhythmic and slow throughout the class. Now, with our next exhale, let's come forward into tabletop position. Begin warming up the spine with the cat-cow. Inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops, crown of the head comes up. Exhale, tailbone tucks, back rounds, chin comes toward the chest. All right, this movement is going to be the foundation for one of our postures today called the tiger pose. So please pay attention to the cat-cow movement as you do it. It's something that's going to come back again later. Okay, so just warming up the spine, the muscles in the back. And then after you've done a few repetitions of that, you can come back to neutral, bring your knees together, take a nice deep breath. Exhale, hips to one side. Inhale, hips to center. Exhale, hips to the other side. Moving side to side. Giving your waist and the outside of your hip a little stretch as you do that. Again, we're just warming up, so these do not need to be very deep stretches. You might have to go far before you feel a stretch, though. It just depends on your body. Good, then coming back to neutral. And let's just make a few circles here in one direction. And then we'll do a few in the opposite direction. Good. Coming neutral, we'll tuck those toes, lift the hips, and take our first down dog. And I've been upping my walking lately, and I've been adding in a little bit of running as well, sprinting. And so I'm really feeling my legs this week. So the calves are tight. So I'm trying to bring some blood flow down in there, give them a good stretch. Okay, pedaling back and forth a few times. And then once you've done that, come into your full expression of the downward facing dog. So again, you all are familiar with the posture, but for anyone who might be watching this later, the hands are shoulder width, the fingers are spread wide, the 4 pads under the knuckles firmly plant to the ground, the chest actively draws toward the toes, feet hip distance, heels actively reaching to the ground. So this is what we'd like it to look like, an upside down V shape. Okay, so as the best of your ability, that's what you're creating there. And I'd like you to feel that the chest and the belly are free and open, so you can really breathe into those spaces. For next exhale, let's walk our feet toward our hands, coming into a ragdoll for a moment. We can dangle here. Just let the hips sway side to side. You can bend the knees a bit, nod the head, shake the head, just everything loose, free. And if they don't feel loose and free, then we're just, again, noticing, like I did with the calves. My calves felt really tight. All right, now let's relax those arms. As we inhale, we'll gradually roll up to standing, coming up to a relaxed mountain pose or Tadasana. Again, let's check the muscles in our face and jaw. We'll let those muscles relax if we're holding any tension there unconsciously. And then let's take the shoulders. We'll roll them forward, up, back, and down a few times, noticing if we're holding tension in this area. And if we are, using the movement to loosen it. Do a few rounds in each direction. Good. Then we'll begin with a standing back bend. So the feet touching. Let's inhale, arms up, touch palms, and lift the heart as we come into our standing back bend. Just exploring, lifting up and back. So really lifting the heart, breathing here, noticing what we feel and where we feel it. Noticing our breath. Are we still making that ujjayi sound? Good. Inhale back through center and exhale to forward fold Uttanasana. Let's bend the knees and bring our chest and belly against the thighs. Let the neck relax here. Palms flat if possible. Now keep the belly and chest against the thighs. Begin to straighten the legs until you feel a stretch in the back of your thighs. Okay, your legs might not go all the way straight. Mine are not. I don't know if you can see that in my pants, but my knees are still bent a bit. But my belly is against my thighs and I feel the stretch. That's what's important. The next inhale will come to the fingertips or take hands to our shins as we lengthen the spine, straighten the spine. And then as we exhale, we plant the hands and step to the top of a push-up. So let's check our push-up as usual. We make sure we are not collapsing in the shoulders. We're not dumping into our back. We're not sneaking into a down dog here. Okay, everything lines up, ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. We'll drop the knees for the first push-up. Take a deep breath, exhale, lower down halfway, elbows, hug the ribs, hold that, and take a breath. The next exhale, come on down, release the tops of the feet to the mat, and bring the feet together. Then, keep your shoulders away from your ears, and on the inhale, press into your hands, lift your head, neck, and chest. But keep the hips firmly planted on the ground. Keep the elbows in at your sides. Keep the shoulder blades away from your ears. Relax your face and jaw. Cobra. Exhale, come on down. Tuck the toes. Press back to tabletop and then to downward dog. Let's take a breath in the downward facing dog. Good. So let's add some intensity as usual. We'll inhale to the toes and exhale, make our way to the front edge of the mat. Inhaling all the way up to standing. And then as we exhale, we'll come into Ardha Chandrasana, sending our hips to the right as we pull our arm to the left. Making sure that the shoulders are stacked, the hips are lined up, and we feel that stretch in our right waist. So inhale back to center. We switch wrists and exhale to the other side. Same thing here. Feeling that stretch in the waist. Breathing into it. Good. Inhale back to center and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, bottom of the push-up. And then this time, inhale, straighten arms and legs, knees are off the ground. Okay, you can drop your knees again if you need to. You can repeat cobra if you need to. And then exhale as you pull back to downward facing dog. Straight back, okay? All right, let's learn one more variation, more challenging than those last two. Again, you could stay with that first variation, okay? So there's no harm in that. That might be what's necessary, and I encourage you to do that if it is. Let's inhale to our toes. As we exhale, we make our way again to the front edge of our mat. Inhale all the way up to standing. And then we exhale as we pull over to the left, stretch our right waist. Inhale back to center. Exhale as we pull over to the right. Inhale center. And then exhale as we come into our chair pose. Okay, so our chair pose, it's like sitting back in a seat. And just like if I were in a chair, I want to try and keep my torso up. We don't sit in chairs like that, right? So let's keep that torso up. Keep our arms up by our ears. Take that tailbone, tuck it down, and really sink into our chair. Let those legs work. Let's take a deep breath here, and as we exhale, we release into our forward fold. Inhale to half lift, or if you like, you can do crow pose here. This is a pose that we're going to work on today. With your exhale, step, jump, or float to the bottom of the push-up. Inhaling to upward dog, or again, you could do a cobra here. And then exhale, if you're able to, do push-up on your way out. Otherwise, come straight back to down dog or use the tabletop transition. Good, so hopefully we're beginning to feel warmed up here. I know I am, but I have a lot of lights in my room, makes it very hot. So I'm definitely doing some kind of hot yoga here. But hopefully you're feeling that too. Now we're going to start to do more complex variations based on sun salutation B. So let's inhale to our toes. And as we exhale, make our way to the front edge of the mat. Let's inhale up to standing back bend, and then we'll exhale down to a squat. Okay, so you might be able to come straight down like that. You might have to use your hands. You may not be able to even get down this far. Do what you can, okay? So this first pose is called Malasana. And it's our squat, our low squat, you could say. Chair is a high squat. All right, so we're squatting down. Your heels may or may not reach the ground. A lot of that has to do with your anatomy and the shape of your bones. So don't feel bad if your heels are off the ground. If that feels really uncomfortable, you could roll up something and put it under your heels. We're going to be squatting quite a bit in today's class, so you might want to take a moment to do that. All right, as we squat, your feet can be closer together or further apart. Find what's comfortable for your bones. And let's see if we can bring our hands to the heart right between our elbows. And our elbows press into our knees, our legs, and they create a little bit of a hip opening here. And we'll really lengthen that spine. Okay, so it's like I'm pulling my torso up out of my hips, and I'm pushing my hips open with my arms, my hands at my heart. Okay, and that's the Malasana. All right, good. From there, we'll just inhale, come all the way back up to our standing back bend to release that. Stretch our front side a little bit. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, half lift or crow. And then exhale to the bottom of your push-up, making your way back to down dog. Now you're going to see me start to skip vinyasas, and that's because if I do all of them, I'll be out of breath and I will not be able to teach you very well. All right, so I encourage you to do all the vinyasas if you can. And if you can't, it's too much, don't worry about it. You can skip them as well. All right, so let's bring our feet to touch.
and we'll inhale the right leg up and back into the three-legged dog pose. So this is familiar to everyone in class. We want that hip down, legs straight, foot flexed, toes, knee, and hip pointing toward the ground. Okay? Common mistakes are pointing this foot, bending this knee, lifting this leg, or having the leg down, not really lifting it up very high. So we're going to lift it, but we keep the hip down. Let's take a deep breath, and as we exhale, we bring that foot between our hands, drop the back knee down. Okay, I'd like my hips as far forward and down as they can go, and I would like my heel directly under the knee. As I inhale, I raise up into this position. This is called Anjaneyasana, low lunge. The main stretch is at the front of the left hip, so see if you can find that, again, by rocking the hips forward and down. Now, if you'd like to take a little deeper, if you want to challenge yourself a little more, exhale your hands to your heart and take the left elbow over your right thigh. Okay, use the hands again to twist the torso. For more challenge, tuck the back toes and lift the leg. And for even more, you can bind this leg. I can't. My arms are too short for that. All right? So again, don't be afraid to challenge yourself a little bit. Don't be afraid to get a little wobbly. But don't go too far either. All right, with our next inhale, let's come back up to Anjaneyasana. And we exhale to the bottom of our push-up. Again, I'm just going to step right back to down dog, but I encourage you to do the Vinyasa. Side 2, feet touch. We inhale left leg up and back, three-legged dog pose. Let's really put everything we've got into our practice. I think this is a good pose where people sometimes try and phone it in. They're not really paying attention. They're not really giving it their all. They're not really lifting that leg as high as they can. So let's really commit ourselves to our practice right now. Exhale, we place that foot between the hands, drop the back knee, and inhale to Anjaneyasana. Good, let's find that stretch at the front of the right hip first, really perfecting this pose, how it's supposed to be. And then if we want to take it a little further, you can exhale, hands to the heart, and take it over that thigh. Use that to create a nice deep twist here. And then again, for more challenge, I lift that back knee up, okay? Good, breathing here. All right, so let's inhale back to Anjaneyasana, and we exhale, bottom of our push-up, making our way back to downward dog. Okay, well, let's exhale to a tabletop position, and we'll take a look at our tiger pose, okay? So we begin in the cat position, or I should say the cow position. So this is the angry cat, and this is sometimes called cat lift, or it's called cow. Okay, so we're in this cat lift cow position. The head is lifted up. And then we're going to take the right leg up, and we'll bring the foot toward the crown of our head. Okay, if you have a short torso and a long lower leg and a really flexible spine, you might actually be able to touch your foot to your head. You can see I'm nowhere close. It doesn't matter. I'm getting all the benefits of the tiger pose here. Okay, so really, again, let's not phone it in. Let's really give it our best effort. Good. Exhale, we lower that leg. That's the tiger pose. It's the most basic version. We inhale the other leg up. And this is not like some of the other poses we've done in the past, like the plank we did a few weeks ago, I think. I think it was a few weeks ago. And we were really focused on keeping that back flat, right? This is a back bend. So I'm lifting my head up and back. I'm lifting that leg, letting my belly drop. Now, I don't want pain in my back, but as much as I can, I'm doing the back bend. Good. Exhale, lower down. And then you can do an extra vinyasa here if you like, or you can just come straight back to down dog. That's up to you. All right, we'll inhale to our toes. Exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of the mat. We inhale up to standing back bend. And then we exhale again to our squat. Now, you might be doing the squat the whole class. That's perfectly fine. If that is challenging for you, if you are working things out, trying to figure out how you can do a squat safely, effectively, keep working on it, okay? Don't feel like you need to go to the next thing, especially if you don't feel like your squat is very good, your low squat, okay? Squatting is one of the most beneficial things for our health, especially the pelvic floor health. So it's not no count. It really is important that we be able to do this, okay? All right, if this is relatively easy for you, we're going to move on to a arm balance. One of the problems with arm balances for many people is not that they lack flexibility, strength, or coordination, it's that they're full of fear. So many people are afraid of hitting their head on the ground. So this arm balance takes care of that, removes that fear. It's called baby Bakasana. We come down to the ground. I reach across, I grab the opposite elbow. Then I bring my forearms to the ground, palms flat. I tuck my toes and I lift my hips up like I'm going into down dog. This is called a dolphin. From dolphin, I walk my feet in and I have two choices for my arms. I can hug, or for my legs rather, I can hug the side of my arms, all right? Or I can insert my knees onto the back of my arms. Whichever choice works better for you. If you have long thighs, you're going to hug the side of your arms. And if you have shorter thighs and maybe a longer torso, you can maybe insert your knees to the back of the arms. Now, watch me. I'm going to come very close to the ground, but not touch the ground with my face. So my face is not touching the ground. My shoulders are engaged, and I lift my toes up. Now, I mentioned earlier, people are afraid of hitting their head, so watch me. I'm going to hit my head many times, and I'm fine. There's no brain damage. It doesn't hurt at all. Okay? So this is a good way to learn some of the basic principles of arm balancing without that fear of hitting your head. All right, let's move on. So we inhale up to standing back bend. Just release that. Should feel good when we do that. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, crow, or maybe handstand, and make your way back to downward dog via a vinyasa. All right, let's bring those feet to touch. We're going to inhale the right leg up and back. This time, let's bend the knee and let's make some large circles with our knee. Really large as you can. Big, fat circles. And then we'll do a few in the other direction. Notice what you feel as you do that. Is that easy? Is it painful? Does it feel good? All right, we take a nice deep breath. Exhale, lunge. Inhale into Anjaneyasana. And then exhale inside of that leg into what's called a lizard. I think we did this pose last week, the lizard pose. So we're down in our lizard. All right, and now we're going to add a twist. So inhale, lift that right arm up into the sky, twisting. All right, try and do this, but if you can't, you can take the hand here and push yourself back if that's really challenging for you to keep that arm lifted, okay? Otherwise, arm is up. Now, if you can, bend the back knee, reach back and grab this foot. All right, I recognize not everyone might be able to do that. So if you can't, that's okay. But if you can, grab that foot and then take a few breaths here, stretching the front of that left thigh, twisting the spine. It's a very complex shape. So give it a little bit of time. Breathe into it. You, of course, could use a strap for this, but you may not have time to. By the time you get the strap around your foot, we'll probably move on. All right. So let's inhale back up to our Anjaneyasana, and then we exhale, bottom of our push-up, make our way back to the downward dog. Let's do the other side. So feet touch. We inhale left leg up and back. We bend the knee. And again, we make big old fat circles with the knee in the air. As big as you can. Big circles. And then we do a few in the other direction. Again, we're just trying to wake up that hip, see what it's capable of. Good. Let's take a deep breath. We exhale and lunge. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. And then exhale to lizard. You can move that left leg out of your way, so don't worry about moving that left leg. Okay, as long as the foot is under the knee and the toes and the knee are basically pointing the same direction. Okay, from here, let's inhale that left arm up into our twist. Again, I can take that hand to the knee to help with the twist if necessary. And the best, if you can do it, is you bend that back knee, reach back, grab that foot, pull that foot in actively, stretching the front of the thigh. That's going to become very important in today's class, opening up the front of that thigh, all right? So let's breathe into that stretch. Good. So on our next inhale, we come back up into Anjaneyasana. We exhale, bottom of the push-up, making our way back to the downward dog. All right, let's take another look at tigers. So we exhale down, hands and knees. Let's inhale that right leg up, head up. And then as we exhale, we bring the leg in and we touch it to our forehead, nose, or chin. Inhale, lifting up. And then exhale, we tuck it in again. Touch if you can. Continue. Inhale, lift. And exhale, tuck. Continue. Good. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Other side. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, hug it in. Touch the head if you can. Inhale, lift. And exhale, touch. Continue. Good. Inhale, lifting up, and exhale, release. Again, you can vinyasa or come straight back to down dog. From downward dog, let's inhale to our toes, look between the hands, and as we exhale, we make our way to the front edge of our mat. Inhale to standing back bend, and we exhale to our squat. Good. All right. So again, if this squat is challenging, work the squat the whole rest of the class while the rest of us or other people are maybe moving on to other things, or I'm moving on to other things, okay? If that baby crow was challenging, you might actually find this a little easier, okay? So you don't have to stay with that, but you can. If you felt like, you know, I'm almost there, or that seems about my speed, then just stay with that. If you want to move on to the next variation, it's called crow pose, and this is the first arm balance that many people learn. So it's a good basic foundational arm balance. First thing we want to learn with arm balance are called chaturanga arms. Chaturanga arms are arms like this, where the elbow is bent to a 90-degree angle. The shoulders, the elbows, and the wrists basically stack. There may be a little bit of variance there, but not too much. Okay, so these are not chaturanga arms. This is what a lot of people try and do. These are not chaturanga arms where my elbows are sticking out to the sides, okay, like the funky chicken. All right, these are chaturanga arms. Okay, so I take my chaturanga arms and I put them on the ground. You're going to notice something right away. I'm really low to the ground. Many people try and do this like this, with their arms straight. No, bend the arms deeply. That creates a shelf here. Then what I'll do is the same thing I did with baby crow. I either hug the side of my arms with my legs, or I place the shin bone against this shelf. Okay? Now, once I've done that, my hands, elbows, and are shoulder width, more or less. Okay? My elbows are a little bit out. Again, that's fine. Now, here's a very important part. I want to lift my hips super high. I lift them up high so that my center of gravity is over my wrists. Most of my weight is here. If my hips are here, I'm going to keep falling backward. Maybe you've had that problem before. Okay, so we're here, lifting up high. I look up, not down, because I move in the direction I look in. So I want to go up, not down. Now I can try lifting one set of toes, try the other set, and if I feel ready, I lift both toes. All right? Then I can work on straightening my arms, dropping my hips, and lifting my gaze even more. If that's easy, from there, I shoot back to the bottom of my push-up, and I take a vinyasa, making my way back to down dog. If that's easy, jump back into crow from downward dog. All right? All right, from here, let's inhale all the way back to standing back bend. Again, as a nice release. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. You could put crow in there. Exhale, bottom your push-up. Again, making your way back to downward dog via a vinyasa. So bring those feet to touch. We're going to inhale, right leg up and back. Let's bend the knee, and let's open the hip this time. Okay, so we're opening the hip, bring that leg over, stretching into the waist, and maybe the front of the hip as well, but trying to maintain a strong tripod with the limbs that are still on the ground. Strong foundation. Let's take a deep breath here as we exhale. Place the foot between the hands. Let's keep the back heel raised as we come up. Inhale into our first Ashta Chandrasana, or crescent lunge. Okay, so the front foot and knee point straight ahead. The knee lunges directly over the heel. Back leg is straight, and that heel is actively reaching toward the ground, even though it will not reach the ground. Left hip is forward, right hip is back. Arms are straight up and back, palms facing one another. Fingers are energized. The chest and belly are open. Good. We inhale, we straighten the front knee. Exhale, we bend the knee, bend the arms, and bend our back, stretching the front of the left hip a little deeper. Inhale, come up. Good. Exhale, sink into it. Let's do 6 of these today. So inhale up, exhale, find an edge. Good. That's 3. We're going to do 3 more. We're halfway there. Good. Inhale those arms up and exhale, bottom of your push-up. Okay, if you know your arm balances, you can do this one, one-legged crow pose on your way out. Making your way back to the downward facing dog. Okay, feet touch and down dog. Inhale, left leg up and back. We bend the knee and we open up the hip a little bit. Again, let's create a nice firm tripod with the limbs that are on the ground and use the weight of that leg to open the waist and the hip. Twist the spine a bit. Good. Take a deep breath. Exhale and lunge. Inhale, crescent, Ashta Chandrasana. I want to feel that front thigh working. I want to feel this right hip stretching. I want to feel openness in my chest and my belly. I want to feel my shoulders and my face soften and relax. Okay? There's strength, but that strength is met with a softness and ease. I want you to find both in this shape. Good. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, bend the knee, bend the arms, bend your back. Stretch the front of the right hip intensely. Inhale, come up. Exhale, find your edge. Good. Inhale and exhale, halfway there. Good. Inhale those arms up and exhale, bottom of the push-up. Maybe you do the arm balance on your way out. All right. Let's exhale down into position for the tiger stretch once again. Now let's add the arm to our tiger. Okay, so we lift the right leg up. We lift the left arm. We'll bend that arm. So instead of having it straight, let's go ahead and just bend it. We're going to keep the knee and elbow bent. So we're in the back bend here. Exhale, hug everything in. Try and get your arm and your thigh to touch your torso. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, tuck it in. Good. With the breath. Inhale and exhale. 3 more. Make sure your spine is moving with you. 2 more. And 1 more. Good. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Other side. Inhale, left leg lifts up. Right arm lifts up. Now we're bringing in balance, right? You can feel yourself wobble a little bit. So again, let's make sure we're in a back bend. Then we exhale, we come into a forward fold. Inhale, into the back bend. Exhale, hug it in. Good, with the breath. And exhale. It's 3, 4, 5. 1 more. And 6. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. You can vinyasa straight back, or you can go straight back from the downward dog, or from tabletop to downward dog. Beautiful. All right. Let's inhale to our toes. We're going to exhale, front edge of the mat. Let's inhale up to standing. And we exhale to our squat. All right. So again, if you can't do crow pose or baby crow, you're working on one of those. If you can't squat, then maybe you're still working on the squat. Repetition is what creates powerful change. So it's not trying to do something once and then failing and then giving up. That does not create change. It's time and again, failing, making a mistake, making a mistake. Then we get it, okay? So again, that's what's called practice. This is a yoga practice. All right, let's take a look at making that a little bit more challenging. And this is one of the most challenging arm balances that there is. It's called one-legged crow pose. You saw me do it a moment ago. We're going to try coming into it from a different position. So first I come into crow, and then I try taking one leg back behind me for the one-legged crow pose. Okay? Very difficult because in crow, normally I'm being pulled backward, right? So it's hard enough to do crow and not be pulled backward. Now I'm taking a leg and I'm shooting it back. So I'm being pulled backward even more, okay? So very, very challenging arm balance. But we don't want to be afraid of challenge. We want to embrace challenge. We want to do our best in the face of challenges. Okay, so just try it, see what happens. Take your time, be careful. All right, let's move on. So we inhale, coming up, standing back bend. exhale, release, forward and down. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, bottom of your push-up, making your way back to the downward dog. Okay, so in downward dog, let's bring our feet to touch. We're going to inhale the right leg up and back. Let's bend the knee, let's open the hip, and if it feels safe for you to do so, you flip your dog over. Okay, we'll move that arm around, or you can bring both hands to the ground for wheel pose, okay, if that's in your wheelhouse. All right, I'll take a deep breath, and we exhale and lunge. Inhale into crescent lunge, and then exhale, let's grow some wings. Find a knot of wood or something to stare at, a drishti. Take a deep breath here, and with your next exhale, you transition into the airplane. So in airplane, we want that left leg, just like in three-legged dog pose. So let's lift it up. Foot is flexed, toes, knee, and hip point down, okay? Gonna move back a little bit so I don't hit my arms. And then I try and sweep my arms forward into the full expression of Vyaghrasana 3. So arms, chest, and leg are parallel with the ground. Good. Let's take a nice deep breath. We're going to exhale bottom of our push-up. And again, making your way back to the down dog. All right, feet touch. We inhale left leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip, and just maybe we flip our dog over. If you're not doing wheel, let's move that arm. It's good for the joint and the muscles. Good, take a deep breath, exhale and lunge. And inhale to crescent lunge. Again, I'm just gonna move back here. All right, so we're here. Then we exhale, grow some wings. Find something to stare at, take a deep breath, and exhale as you transition into a Vyaghrasana 3, Warrior 3 pose. Okay, then when you feel you've got the hips and leg as good as you're going to get them, sweep those arms forward. Breathe. Good. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way back to your downward facing dog. All right, let's take another look at our tiger. Exhale down to tabletop. This one's going to focus more on flexibility. Okay, so not so much about the dynamic movement. So we bend the leg, and then if I can, I'm going to reach back and grab the foot. Now, if you can't, you can repeat the last variation. It's fine. Again, we get added benefits by repeating things. So I'm kicking up and back. This is stretching the front of my left shoulder and the front of my right thigh and hip. If I could, I'd straighten that leg. I just can't do that. I'm not that flexible. I'm also in a back bend, right? So again, unlike when we're doing planks, I'm letting my belly drop. I'm taking it into back bend. I'm lifting my head. Good. Let's exhale that side of tiger down. And then left leg lifts up. And I see if I can reach back and grab that foot. Again, I don't want to discourage you from using props. So if you've got them and you can get that foot hooked, go for it. You know, if you're watching this later, you can pause the video, go ahead. Nothing wrong with it. Okay, but when we're flowing, a lot of times props can just get really messy. By the time we get everything where we want it, pose is over, right? All right, exhale, release. Again, you can vinyasa or go straight back to downward dog. I imagine you're going straight back at this point because you might be pretty tired. All right, let's inhale to our toes. As we exhale, we step, jump, or float to the front edge of the mat. Inhale all the way to standing, and we exhale, hands to our sides, palms out. Okay, so thumb is facing backward. Now, feet are touching. I shift weight to my left foot. I bend the right knee and I grab the foot, just like I was doing in Tiger, but with the hand on the same side, okay? Now, inhale the left arm up. You can join index finger and thumb for Jnana Mudra. Take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, kick back as much as you can. So stay upright. See what I'm doing? I'm creating a bow. I'm still upright. Now, once you've done that, keep your head facing forward. Take another deep breath, and as you exhale, just pivot from the waist. So the pelvis faces the ground, but my head, neck, and chest are still trying to face forward. Okay, so this is a variation of the dancer pose. Just doing the best you can. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself. Don't be afraid to fall. Good. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, release the dancer. Side two, same thing. I'm just going to turn so you can see me. Bend the knee, reach back, grab the foot. Again, thumb is facing backward. Knees are together. Inhale, the right arm up. Exhale, kick back as far as you can. Okay, so I can't go any further. It's at that point, I take another breath, and with the exhale, I begin to hinge from the hips. I'm still trying to keep that left hip down, right? So again, I might be able to go further if I do that kind of thing, right? So we're not doing that. Keeping that hip down, trying to square those hips off, but still kick that leg back. Still looking forward. Breathing. Good. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, release. Inhale, standing back bend. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, bottom of the push-up. Excellent. Okay, let's look at one more way of getting into the one-legged crow pose. Don't be afraid to try it. Okay, so inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, rest the leg on the arm and lift the other leg up. Good. Inhale that leg up and back. And exhale as you lunge. Inhale up into crescent lunge. Exhale, grow some wings. Take a deep breath there. And with the next exhale, kick off the back leg. Flex the foot. Pull the heel in towards your buttocks. Bring your arms out like wings. Keep your head, neck, and chest looking forward. This is called the bird pose. Okay, if it's too easy, you can add challenge by exhaling and bending the right knee and inhaling as you stand up. Okay, so you can begin to fatigue that leg by doing that. Leg may already be fatigued, but if it's easy, you can add challenge there. We'll really work those muscles in that leg. Good. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, making our way back to the down dog. Side two. Inhale, left leg up and back. Let's exhale, touch the leg to the arm. We rested on that bent arm and try and lift that back leg up. Just doing our best. I know you might not be able to do that today. That's fine. Inhale, leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. And inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale, arms out like wings. Take a deep breath and exhale, Dvijasana, the bird pose. Okay, see, I'm losing my balance because I'm starting to get fatigued. And that's good. That's good. That is good. That is what we want. It's not a performance. This is not for you to prove to yourself what a good yogi you are because you did everything perfectly. It's not the way this works. Okay, so you're doing your best. You're doing your bird pose. Again, if it's not hard enough, you begin bending that left leg, begin to fatigue that leg. That's exactly what we want. Okay, we're not trying to do everything perfectly. We're not trying to pat ourselves in the back. Great job we did. We're trying to challenge ourselves. All right, deep breath, exhale, bottom push-up. Let's make our way back to the down dog. And from down dog, we'll exhale to tabletop. Let's take one more look at tiger pose. Okay, this one looks a little more at balance. So I may not be able to do it. I might be really wobbly. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. So we bend the leg like we've been doing the whole time. And then this time I reach the foot on the same side. So it's just like dancer pose. I'm going to reach back, same side, try and grab that foot and kick it up. You can see I'm losing my balance, right? Because I'm balancing on my left leg and arm only. I'm trying to keep my right hip down. Very difficult. Okay, so it's almost like dancer facing the ground. Okay, instead of dancer standing. Good, let's release tiger on that side. Try the other side. Bending the knee, reach back, grab that foot. Very much again like dancer pose. Kicking up and back, trying to keep that hip down. For whatever reason, it's easier for me on this side than the other side. All right, beautiful, great work. Yogins. Let's exhale as we come into a child pose. Let's bring our hands back alongside our heels, and we'll rest here for a few slow, deep breaths. I haven't mentioned the breath until this point, so definitely check in with your breathing. As much as we've done, we still want the breath to be slow, deep, and rhythmic. Okay, so make sure that you've got that happening there. Good, now let's finish up with a few stretches. So coming up into this position, we'll take our right leg out to the right. Okay, the foot is flexed, the toes point up. I'm just going to turn for the sake of the camera. Everything is lined up here. And then we inhale, arms up. I'm going to grab that left wrist and exhale my way over, stretching my left waist and ribs, stretching my side. Good. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, bring the leg in, enhance the hips. Good. Other side. Bring that leg into position. Inhale, arms up. And exhale as you pull yourself over, stretching your right waist and ribs, breathing. Again, notice the tendency for this right shoulder to come forward. Okay, we're going to keep everything stacked up. Good. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, hands to hips. Bring that leg back in. Let's do a quick camel. You can tuck the toes if you like. Hands in the back, elbows in. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, you can grab heels. You can let your chin go back. That feels okay. Hips forward, heart lifting. Breathe. Good. Inhale, come on up. And exhale to a seat. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Take a few deep breaths. Good. Cross the ankles. Bring our legs out in front of us. Bending the right knee. Let's take that foot to the ground. And then we'll cross the foot over the opposite leg. Let's bend the left knee. Bring that foot alongside the hip. If you can't, this can be done with that leg straight. Let's ground the sits bones. And then sit nice and tall as we inhale and raise our right arm up. Then exhale, the hand behind you. Inhale the left arm up. And exhale the elbow over the knee. Inhale, sit tall, again, and then exhale as you look back over your right shoulder. So this is the King of Fishes pose.
Vyaghrasana. Good. We'll inhale and come back to center. And we exhale and take the legs out. Other side, I bring the left foot in, cross it over the right leg. Again, I can do it like this, right? Or I can bring this foot back. Depends on what you can do in your body. Spine nice and straight, right? Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, that hand behind you. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, elbow over the knee. Inhale, sit tall. And exhale as you take that twist, looking back over your left shoulder. Good. Let's inhale as we come back to center. And we exhale, take our legs out. We can shake them out a little bit. And then let's bring our legs together now. We're going to flex those feet. You can lift the flesh covering your sits bones so you make nice, strong contact with the earth there. It's not essential, but some people like doing that. Then we'll inhale the arms up, framing the ears. And as we exhale, we come forward and down, either grabbing the big toes, the outside edges of the feet, or a strap. Inhale, straighten that spine. And then as you exhale, look down as you fold forward into Paschimottanasana. If you're more flexible, you can interlace fingers over the toes. If you're even more flexible, you can reverse the hands or even use a block. Close the eyes and extend the exhale twice the length of your inhale. Good. Arms to the ears. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, hands behind you, fingers pointing toward your buttocks, palms down. Let's point the toes now instead of flexing them. Inhale, lift the hips up, and if you can, drop your neck back for Purvottanasana. Inclined or reverse plane or reverse plank. Good. Exhale, let those hips come down. Inhale, extend the arms. And as you exhale, rolling back onto your back. Nice and easy. Good. Once you get there, let's draw those legs in for Apanasana or Pavana Muktasana. I like to use this posture dynamically. So rather than trying to hold still, we move a bit. Of course, if you want to hold still, you're welcome to do that. I'm not going to force you to move, but you might discover a lot by moving. So again, my left hip is funky for some reason. Not sure why. Sometimes it acts up, and right now it is. So when I move, I notice it. When I'm still, I don't. So movement is very valuable. Stillness is also valuable for a different reason. All right, let's grab the soles of our feet for a little happy baby. Again, it creates different kinds of pressures, different challenges. We can take the legs out, stretching the legs, right? We can stretch our back by pulling them overhead. Again, we can move in different ways than we could when we were holding our shins. And then when you're ready to relax, you unwind into Shavasana. So flat on your back, legs and arms splay comfortably apart, palms up, head centered, chin tucked in slightly. I'm going to leave you at this point. I recommend you rest there in stillness. Again, stillness is important, and now's the time for stillness. So rest in stillness for 6 minutes. You can set a timer. You can rest longer. I wouldn't do shorter than 6 minutes, though. Okay, hopefully I'll see you in the next class, which is the yin class, in 15 minutes, right here at Nirvana. I'll be teaching it. If you can't make it, then hopefully I'll see you next week. And again, I'll reiterate, these are stressful times. So if you don't have tools for dealing with your stress, it can be almost impossible. So if you don't have tools, if you're not sure what to do, reach out, let's talk. And I'm happy to help you. Even if you're a student of mine and you've learned meditation, you've learned all this stuff, if you're struggling, then that means we need to talk, okay? So don't be afraid about reaching out, and let's do that. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next class or next week. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you next time. Namaste, and thank you.